Hi, my lovelies. How's it going? I have another tutorial for you today. As we are days away from Valentine's Day, one of my favorite symbolic holidays, just because of what it represents, not just romantic love, but love in general. Um, I thought I'd put out a couple of cute ideas out there and make it worth your while. As most of you know, I like to do a lot of watercolor and then scan it and create cards and note cards out of them. So I am going to show you how to do these olives here, and I'll tell you how they represent love or Valentine's Day, or how I'm going to tie it in anyways. So I'm going to show you how to do these olives here, and my hope is that you will learn how to do these, and then I can show you in another video, or maybe even a blog post. Actually, I think a blog post would be much better, how to scan them, and then how you can make your very own cards. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get started. So today I'm going to introduce a new element in the painting. What I've done is, so obviously this is, as I've mentioned before, we're doing an olive branch. And I've drawn out one here, and I'm going to be painting this in for this tutorial. But if you can see, they're like different colors. And what I've used to do this is watercolor pencils. That's what I'm going to be introducing. And these are the watercolor pencils I'm referring to. This is something I had actually purchased back in high school several years ago. And I just happened to chance upon them in my box of old things, and I figured, oh, let's try and, instead of actually drawing out with a pencil and having the marks on the painting itself, let's use these watercolor pencils instead. And then as you paint over them, they kind of blend in with your paints. So this is what it looks like. I've chosen four colors, sorry. I've chosen 4 colors for watercolor pencils, and then I've chosen 3 of my swatches from my watercolor paints, which is the St. Petersberg White Knights. I'm going to keep them aside. And for my brushes, I'm going to be using, drum roll, the Silver Black Velvet 4, and just the regular round 7. Okay, so let's get started. To begin with, just to speed up the whole tutorial, I figured let me just draw what the olive branch would look like for me, and then I can paint it in as I'm explaining to you what I'm doing. So, get up a reference of an olive branch like image, and then just do a very loose drawing. And again, these watercolor pencils are something, if you have them, you can use them, great. If not, just use a regular pencil and go really lightly. And but let me just show you how these watercolor pencils work. So I'm going to start off with painting in the olives first, and I'm going to use my little mustardy green color. As you can see, I have a lot of green on there because I like to mix my bright greens with it. I like the shade of green that comes out with it. So I'm just gonna lightly dab on it, and then I also have my infamous shell thingy right here to mix my paints. I know, total weirdo that way. So I'm just gonna put some of it on here, and then I'm going to go in and start painting. And I'm going to make sure that the edges are really defined. I'm also going to start mixing in a little bit of the green because I don't want it to be just one tone. All right, and then make sure there's more water handy. And then I'm also going to leave in some white space if I can. Because, you know, I always tell you guys, leave some white space. And then I myself end up like not leaving any space. It's so hard to do. But honestly, guys, if you can nail the white space bit, it just enhances your whole image It just makes it that much better because it gives the illusion of light and dark, and you want that lighting. Go in with more of the mustardy yellow and kind of blend it in. As you can see, the edges have actually disappeared. The green edges that I had, or the yellowy edges that I had drawn the olive with, and using the watercolor pencil. So it kind of just blends in really nicely. So now I know for my next one, use less green, as it will blend in with the olive yellow mustard. And so I'm going to move on to the next one. And I'm just going to try and make sure that you don't get any shadow from my hand. And so I'm mixing in a little bit of a very tiny tinge of the green. Now, because I did them already over here, I kind of have an idea of the mixing because I did a practice run already. But I would suggest, yeah, definitely do like a trial run before doing your actual olives. And then just kind of spreading in so you get like variations of the green and the yellow, the mustard, what have you. Okay, so I am good with that. I like how this is turning out. I'm going to just turn it this way so I can paint better without giving you a shadow in the video. And so again, I'm trying to leave white space. So let's not forget that. I'm going to get a little bit more of the mustard. And put that in at the edges, especially like at the top and stuff, where it stems from the branch. All right, good with that again. And I'm going to turn it around, and I don't need the pencils in anymore because I've used them already. And I'm using the black velvet brush because I find it gives a really good, like it has a really great tip, and it gives you a really nice thin edge without kind of making things haphazard, or what's the word I'm looking for, untidy. So you can really create some really thin lines with it as well. So, and this requires that because I don't want this is not exactly a loose painting, it's like a semi-loose one because we have the white space going on in there. So that's why my preference for doing the olives is this. Now this one seems to need a little more blending because it's got, like, the green is not blending in quite that way. So I'm just going to go in and swish it around. Maybe I did this darker. Maybe that's why this is a lot more, it's being a lot more prominent and stubborn compared to the others that I did. That's okay. That's fine. We can make it work. I'm also going to just do the tips. So you can do that. And then I am going to do my last olive, which is right here. So as you can see, all the olives are kind of like a different, they've got different variations of green and yellow and maybe even hints of brown in there. And that's nice. At least to me. I like my olives in multicolor of green. Variations of green, not just like rainbow colors. All right, I'm just swishing green around now. So as you can see, like the watercolor brushes have like blended in really nicely, and we have a really pretty effect going on. And now I am going to use the other brush and kind of do my leaves. And for the leaves, I'm going to kind of mix these two colors, and then these two colors to kind of get that greeny olive look without it being too bright a green. And then this is like a dark brown that I have. I'm just going to put it in every now and then with this green if I want to enhance the leaf and make it look like a deeper green, like the greens over here. All right, so let's start on that. So we want to water the brush down and then get some of the green going. And let's use the palette and then blend it in with what we have. And we can start off. Now the leaves, you can actually do it in one swift motion. Yes, motion. Let's show you on this leaf. And so I'm just going to like using the fine tip and then just go like this. And then just kind of get everything in there. Now, because the greens are all like the watercolor brush I used is like a bright green, I'm going to go in, like I've already used some of my dark brown that I had going on there, blending in with the same green that I have on this brush. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I want to leave a very thin white line in the center to kind of indicate the break in the leaf. I only got a little bit at the tip, so that's okay though. Not to fret. It's not a big deal if you can't get it, because this is, while this is not a loose painting, it's a semi-loose one. And again, it's fine. And then I'm going to now do it here. So I'm just going to do all the leaves like this. There'll be a lot of mixing and whatnot going on, so you can either watch or you can fast forward. Oops, did a mistake right there, but let's see how we can fix that. I'm gonna use some of my dark and it's almost sort of fixed. There we go. See, now over here I didn't leave quite like much of a line in the center, but you can see that this is clearly, this side of the leaf is clearly darker than that, and so that kind of breaks it up and gives it that variation in color. I'm gonna go back to my greens. I'm just gonna mix a bunch more so that I don't have to keep on trying to recreate it. Okay, so you pretty much, you have the idea of how the leaves go. So I'm going to do all the leaves and then get back to you as soon as I have the base coat. All right, so we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I've painted in all the leaves, and now I'm just gonna go and do a little bit of dark and light to kind of give it more whatever this has right here. And so what I will do is, so I'm going to use this one as my wet brush and this as the dry for the darker effect that I want. And I will just go in to certain areas, like for instance this one right here, that's like clearly an overlapping leaf, and I want it to be slightly darker, so I will be mixing a little bit of green with this, and then just going from the edge and just adding that extra shadowy kind of look to it. And I want the edge right here to be a lot darker, so I'm just going to go in and make it darker. All right, same thing over here on this side, because I clearly went a lot darker here, so I'm just going to do that, but then that looks to be a little bit too watery and dark, so I'm going to go in with the green and just spread it out a bit. And do that. So this way you're kind of giving it a nice monochromatic dark to light kind of feel, and it doesn't look too like they're blending in. Right. So I will do the lighter green on this. Right, like that. And then let's see where else I can add the lighter green. I can do it on here, and then just let it kind of trail off. I might want to do it on here as well. Just give some of that on this side as well. I'm going to dip my brush into the dark a little bit. Not too dark. And then bring it down that way. Oops. I think I smudged this a little. Fix it. Okay. So yep, that's what I want to do. And then so you pretty much just do these little fixes everywhere that you feel is warranted based on the image that you get for your, go by the image if you're not quite sure how to do or where to do the light and dark. For me, I'm literally just winging it right now because that's how I do, y'all. If you're looking for realistic kind of stuff, it is not me. Once my hand hits the paper, I'm gone. All right, so I'm good. I'm good with how this looks, and so I'm going to now go in and do the center. And now for that, I have used, remember I've used my what am I trying to say? Yes, I've used my watercolor pencils for the center, so I can just go in with my water and just kind of blend it in, but I'm going to use a tad bit of the dark brown that I have going on and then go in. Oh, you know what? And I'm going to use this brush because it's a lot nicer. The tip is a lot nicer. So let's not use the cheapo one. Let's use this. And then we can also kind of give the olive a little bit of a dot. And then you just want to keep going down and try and blend the leaves, the tips of the leaves with the stem. I want to make sure you can see this because I don't think you can. Just gonna keep going until we reach the bottom. And now we're done. So, oh, I didn't do these olives. How silly of me. We're not done yet. So I'm just gonna do very light tips and then extend them. Do that right there as well. And okay, that might have become a little bit too much. Okay, so yep, so we're done. So this is the olive branch I said I would show you guys. And how does this tie in with Valentine's Day? So like I said, I would love for you guys to paint your own, scan it in, and create a note card. So the phrase that goes with this is something that I saw on, I think it was Popeyes. Remember the cartoon Popeyes? Not the fried chicken. So, and Popeye and Olive. And I believe he gives Olive a jar of olive juice for Valentine's Day, I think it is. And if you say olive juice really fast, it sounds like I love you. Olive juice, olive juice, olive juice. Or even if you do reading of the lips, it sounds like I love you. So the phrase to go with this is either olive you or olive juice. I'm going to decide. But for that, I'm going to be doing a lettering on my iPad using my Apple Pencil. I know the screen's really dirty, sorry. But yeah, that's another tutorial for another time. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks so much for your time, your love, your support, your patience. And stay tuned for the next tutorial. Thanks guys, bye.